Hello, we are live finally. Goodness, that was weird. All right, cool. Let me go post the link over on the website so everybody knows where to come find us. And yeah, and then I'll tell you what we're playing tonight. So we got four books really that we play from, and log in. And I'm running 3 minutes behind, so people have already decided, you know what, he's not coming tonight. He's here, he's just late. Alright, I'll put the link right here where it goes. Command V, Shift, highlight, bold, link, enter, edit, settings, open in a new window, update, and then update. So that's got that going. And then while everybody logs in for a second, let's put this over on Twitter, Denver Guitar Orchestra.com. Denver Guitar Orchestra.com. That's the name of my website. Alright, so let's go get the thingamajig that we post over there. Desktop, guitar, that's my the logo. And then the only reason I keep doing this is I made such an awesome logo, I gotta keep it going. Let's see. Alright, who's Tiffany? I like Tiffany. Alright, there's that. Close that, close that. Close that. Vic is in, sound and video are good. Hey guys, Sandy's in, good evening. Alright, we're going to go quickly tonight because we have lots of good stuff to get through. I want to get through as much as we possibly can before the bell rings. And so, let's get into the main stuff here. Brother John and Frère Jacques tonight in book 1, The More We Get Together, and This Old Man in book 2, Internationalé and Jeanie with their light brown hair. Now that's some serious good music right there, book 3, and then classical, and we might finish up the book tonight, so it's very exciting. So let's go into Brother John, book 1 of guitar. Last week we started brand new again. Biggest takeaways from last week should be how you hold the guitar. Now I'm borrowing a guitar from Elizabeth, who is in our who I've been working with forever, and I says I need to borrow your guitar because it's a little bit smaller than my full-size guitar, and I want to play it a little bit. So I have her guitar, and so I'm holding it in classical position. Even if you don't have a classical guitar, if you have a regular metal string guitar, this is the way you want to play, because at some point you're going to stand up at a microphone to sing, right? And so having your guitar in this position will make that make more sense. To ask you, what is the phrase that pays? And you're supposed to say, Eddie ate dynamite, goodbye Eddie. And you will notice I'm using a snark. I told you to use a snark. Get a snark. They're $15 or something on Amazon, and they will change your musical life. Pretty close. Brother John, 2 things we needed to know how to do. One is play the melody. So we're going to do that. We're going to play it real slow. When we get to measures 5 and 6, we're going to play it at half speed. From the top, 1, 2, ready, play. 0, 2, 4, 0, 0, 2, 4, 0, 4, 5, 7, 4, 5, 7, 7, 9, 7, 5, 4, 0, 7, 9, 7, 5, 4, oh, back to full speed. Open, open, open. First string, second string, first string. That's your goal. That was your goal for the week. If that went well for you, you met your goal, right? If it was a little hard, keep practicing. It'll come along. This week with Brother John, your goal is to get measures 5 and 6 up to speed. So let's try it just now, just so you get a sense of that. When I have to get a slower part up to speed, I want to play the other part a little bit slower so that I don't have to completely double my speed. Okay, so I'm going to play a tiny bit slower, but when we get to 5 and 6, we're going to go faster. 1, 2, 3, 4. 0, 2, 4, 0, 0, 2, 4, 0, 4, 5, 7, 4, 5, 7, 7, 9, 7, 5, 4, 0, 7, 9, 7, 5, 4, 0. First string, second string, first string, first string, second string, first string. Hey Linda, welcome in. Does anyone put a strap on their guitar? You know, everybody puts a strap on their guitar except classical players, but there's no reason why a classical player wouldn't put a strap on their guitar. It's just tradition. With classical, you almost always play sitting down, and so you theoretically don't need a strap. But I don't think that's necessarily the right way to think about it. Just because it's traditional, you don't do it. I'm like, that seems like a kind of a goofy idea. What I would say is, if you feel like a strap would do you some good, put one on, use it for a while. If you feel like, nah, it's not doing any good, you can always not use the strap, right? But you're not going to damage the guitar, and you're not going to create a situation where you can't not sell the guitar down the road if it's got a strap button down here on the end. On classical, we tend not to do it, but that, again, that's just a tradition. That's not a rule of nature or any sort of actual guitar thing. Go ahead and put a strap on. See if it helps you. I do think a shocking amount of time goes into how to hold the guitar over your career as a guitarist. It's hard. I have found that these little contraptions here help me a ton, but other people don't like them, and so for me, this contraption on a guitar is plenty, but absolutely makes some sense to put a strap on one if you want to. Vic says she doesn't have one on hers. Again, the thought is, what kind of guitar are you going to be playing down the road? If you have any chance of going down to open mic and doing that, yeah, you're going to need a strap on your guitar. So why not use one at home? And again, you don't have to use it once you put it on. If you're like, no, I don't need it, then you can always take it back off. But yeah, no rules one way or the other on straps. You don't see classical players use it typically, but that doesn't mean they never use it. And it depends on the style of play. You'll see certain flamenco players using it, but they also have a tendency to stand up, right? So yeah, it's a choice. You'll notice I just rolled down my sleeve. One of the things I find in the summer is if you have your skin up against the guitar, it sort of drags. It's sort of like, come on, arm. And so I lower my sleeve down so that I've got some cloth between me and the guitar. All right, your goal this week: play Brother John at full speed. The other job this week was to do your E chord. Okay, index finger on the 3rd string, 1st fret, middle finger on the 2nd fret, 5th string, and ring finger on the 2nd fret, 4th string. Okay, that's what you're looking for. Okay, let's do thumb down the first time through, and then grab your 4 fingers, any strings you want, just pluck those. Okay, here we go. 1, 2, thumb first. 3, 4. Frère Jacques, Frère Jacques, dormez-vous, dormez-vous, sonnez les matines, sonnez les matines, ding, ding, dong, ding, ding, dong. Change to a claw. Are you sleeping? Are you sleeping, Brother John? Brother now for the end. Remember, 4 beats per measure. Don't try to do anything. Don't try to play along with the music. If it says 4, you put 4 beats in every measure, and that's either a down strum or a pluck at this point in your musical career. Okay, we get fancier as we go along, but those are really critical things is to remember. When you are your right hand is also a drummer, and so keeping that when you're using chords in a very steady fashion is going to make a big difference. We'll eventually work on arpeggio picking, which looks like thumb, index, middle, ring, thumb, index, middle, ring, thumb, index, middle, ring. Are you sleeping? Are you sleeping? But that's down the road. Don't worry about that yet. Big takeaway this week. Can you play Brother John? Can you play your E chord? Can you hold the guitar? And can you tune the guitar? Those are the 4 things I needed you to do. This week, on Brother John, the only thing you got to do is get measures 5 and 6 up to the correct speed. Okay, so I'd slow the rest of the song down a little bit so that you got time to get Sonele Martinez, ding, dang, dong. So get that as fast as you can, and we'll have that again next week. This week, the other thing I need you to do is grab Frère Jacques. So grab that piece of sheet music. There's a couple of new concepts here in Frère Jacques. Do I have it as listed? I think I have the old version on my thing here. Let me see which one you guys are working from. Nope, you have the right one. April 7th. Yep. Okay, so we have the same one. Cool. This one, we got a new chord. A chord is index finger, 4th string, 2nd fret, and middle finger, 3rd string, 2nd fret, and ring finger, 2nd string, 2nd fret. Okay, and then try not to hit the 6th string. It's okay if you do, but try not to. Okay, that's what we want. Okay, and I noticed that I don't have ding, 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 ding. 1, 2, 3. So gotta fix that. Let's just practice the sound of that. Okay, so you got your A chord on, thumb on the A string this time. These 3 fingers, and on any other fingers or any other strings, probably the lower strings, 3, 2, and 1 is better. And then just pluck. 2, 3, 4. Frère Jacques, Frère Jacques, dormez-vous, dormez-vous, Sonele Martinez, Sonele Martinez, ding, dang, dong, ding, dang, dong. So on book 1, we're really getting used to holding the 4 chords that are in this, and then both thumb down and 4-finger plucking. Okay? All of those are going to come into play well for the rest of your life in guitar. And sometimes you're going to want to strum, are you sleeping, are you sleeping? And sometimes you're going to want to pluck, are you sleeping, are you sleeping? And the way we start it is just first is thumb down, and then the second way is just plucking all 4 together. Okay? That's why I don't let you use a pick, right? We're going to need to do all 4 of these fingers are going to have jobs eventually. Your pinky never does, but your 4 fingers do. And if you're holding a pick, you can't do it, right? All right, so there's your chord, A chord. Okay? It's coming up in your life every single day, so get it comfy. Commit it to memory. A chord, boom. Okay. Then the other important concept here is we're going to play the exact same song, but we're playing it in a new key. Instead of the key of E, we're playing it in the key of A, and that means instead of the notes going up and down the neck on one string, they're going to hang out down here on the end on multiple strings. And so this week, your job, you have kind of really 2 jobs. Play the new melody. It's going to be the same melody, just in a different key, so it's all just down in here. If it's a 1, you don't have any 1s in here, but if it was a 1, it'd be in the 1st fret. If it's a 2, use your middle finger, and if it's a 3, use your ring finger. There aren't any other notes here, so you're really going to be using your middle and ring finger exclusively here. Start on that 3rd string, and let's play it together. Go. 2, oh, 2, 2, 2. 2, 3, 0. 2 3 0 0 2 0 3 2 2 0 2 0 3 2 2 third string, fourth string, third string, third string, fourth string, third string. Okay, we're going to be learning about tough acts next week a little bit, and that's where we'll actually just hold the chord, and we'll be able to play most of the entire song just by holding the chord, the A chord. But for now, just have your middle finger play all the twos, have your ring finger play all of the threes, make sure your thumb is plucking the correct string, and the same song will come out. And also this week, getting measures 5 and 6 up to proper speed. So next week, we're going to play through Brother John at full speed. We're going to play through Frère Jacques at full speed, and we'll double check that your E chord and A chord are coming along, and we will double check that tuning and holding the guitar are making sense. Holding the guitar will be a lifelong activity. When I sit down to go to my lesson after all these years of playing, we talk a whole bunch about how my thumb is, right? What angle am I attacking with the right hand? I mean, we talk about all of those things, and this is after gajillions of years of playing. So you do have that challenge of holding the guitar, and it will always be something, right? Okay, so that's book one. You know what you're supposed to do. A chord, E chord, play Frère Jacques 2 different ways at full speed, right? Make that measures 5 and 6 work for you, and that will be what we play next week. And then next week we'll also start digging into Farmer in the Dell. Yeah, all right, beautiful. There's book one. Okay, know your level. Don't if you're a book one player, don't try to play book 4 stuff. Well, you can try. If you do, just don't get frustrated. How about that? All right, the more we get together. Let's go grab that one. Do I have it under T? Yes. The more we get together. All right, book 2, people. Know your chords. G chord and D chord. The more we get together, the more we get together, if getting from G to D is a challenge, can be, because you got to lift everybody up, move them way far away from where they were, and put them back down. Work on that. Here's a perfectly lovely song to work on that. Do note that G, remember when we talked all the way back in Three Blind Mice out of book 1, you've got choices with your G chord. You've got this index, middle, and ring, which is my go-to. Okay. Sometimes people will put their ring on the 2nd string and their pinky on the 1st string. The more we get together, the more, right? So you get a little bit more punch out of it that way. It sounds a little bit more, I don't know if it's interesting, it's just different. So there's that G. And of course you have your 3rd G, which is your bar chord G. The more, and that's again, that's your E chord. Remember F chord last week? This is your E chord, put up on the 3rd fret. That's also a G. The more we get together, the more together, the happier we'll be. Okay, you should work on it. Probably won't, but it's one of those things where that G bar chord is going to come up. And you can also do the D chord. Just drop it down. No, that probably doesn't work very well. I guess you do this one. C shape on 2. That's a hard one. All right, and then let's play the melody from the top. 1, 2. the whole thing with my thumb, but it's also an important activity to go through and play it with your index and middle. Just switching, alternating middle, index, middle, index, middle, index, and making a few mistakes along the way. But that's going to come up as a tool that most guitar players get pretty good at, is using their index and middle to play melody, and you just alternate between the two. All right, and then finally, let's play the tough acts. From the top, 1, 2. Switching to plucking. A lot of G, a lot of D. I would say nothing in that song is not going to come up. It fits pretty well in that key, actually, and so it's actually kind of pleasant to play. Either thumb down or with your claw. Probably try both. If you're supposed to play it 3 times through, right? So the first time you get together, the second time you dance together, the third time you play together. So do your thumb, then your claw plugging, and then go back to your thumb, or something like that, right? Just to do that different feelings. Okay, this week coming up, This Old Man. All right, now, in Book 2, everything's a 2-chord song, except This Old Man, which is a 3-chord song. And the reason why you get 3-chord song here is because you know all 3 of these chords from book number 1. Okay? This old man, he played he played knick-knack on my thumb with a knick-knack, paddywhack, give the dog a bone. This old man came, here's the hard part, rolling. That's what we'll work on next week. Okay, so you've got E, A, E. Let's play it together one more time. 1, 2, 3, 4. This old man, he played he played knick-knack on my thumb with a knick-knack, paddywhack, give the dog a bone. This old man came rolling. Okay, and you have to do it 10 times. If you have to do it 10 times, probably throw your guitar in the dumpster because you won't like it anymore. So A, D, and E chords, we practiced those when we were exiting book 1 and making sure that everybody knows those chords go together. Here's a song that uses those 3 chords, and then of course take time to go through and play the melody. Not much to the melody here, and the tough axis shouldn't be too bad either because of that, right? motion because you got to use your pinky for the 2 and 3 there. A chord. And back to that E chord. Pinky. And then that lone 2 at the end of measure 8 is designed to create a little bit of tension to start you back up at the top. It's not it's part of the chord, but maybe not. You know, it's a fine note, but it's got a little bit of a tension in it to get you back up to make that turnaround to play it again. We'll play it a few times through next weekend, next Wednesday, and there you have your first 3 chord song. I think one of the other songs had a G and a G7 in it, but this is officially 3 chords. Okay, we're wrapping up book 2, so let's work on that together. All right, that's your job for the week. This Old Man. I don't know what comes after that. Oh, Tom Dooley comes after that. So enjoy This Old Man, because Tom Dooley is one of those songs that makes me rage and storm. So there's that. Book 2, complete. Have a lovely evening. Book 3, let's go take a look at the International. Now, I spent all the afternoon playing classical music and I forgot to go through this. So let's hope that this goes okay. The Internationalé. Internationalé. Nice and slow. 80 beats per minute is not fast. And again, you will not become a communist if you read that, if you play this song. But it was the communist national anthem from the top. And by the way, if you want the zombie version of this, let me know. I've got better words for it now. From the top, 3, really, it's a 4-beat count in, and not fast. Play either to the chords or the melody or the top acts. 1, 2, 3, 4. The reason I didn't do the repeat was in the original there are 6 verses to this, and I've never put in all 6 verses of it. And the only reason that you would do the repeat is to make the song longer, and that's not our point here, right? Our point is to learn the song. Now, don't you think everything of that fits together really nicely? Like, there's a couple moments in there where you're like, oh gosh, that's a lot of work, right? So I think anytime an E shows up, an E chord where you're having to work your pinky in there, that can be a little bit treacherous. The other place I thought got surprisingly treacherous, measure 22, when that B minor and the F sharp 7 show up, you're like, what? Oh, right? But remember, your B minor shape, especially in tough acts, here's your A minor. Okay, B minor is just hanging out up here, 3, 4, 4, and in this case, it just calls for those notes. So you don't need to do anything other than have your A minor shape on that and just slide it up. And then the next one is a 2, 3, 2. That's your D chord, but it's on the wrong strings. Right? And I hit this 4th string. I don't want to do that. Or 5th string. And then after that, it goes back to more of the same. And so that's a little bit, that one little moment there is like, I better work on that just a little bit. And then, of course, the last section, measure 29. You got all those chords on there. It's too many chords. I'll go through and clean that up. But that little mini bar chord, I mean, you can tell that's a high moment in the song. Pretty cool. Most of you are trying to keep up with me. So I think, I don't know what it is about this song that captured my imagination. I don't know if it's 1888 and I just like every song from the 1880s, or if it was sort of the story of the struggle to be free kind of thing, or if it's, hey, that's the communists, they're bad, I'm going to play their theme song, or if it's just that the song really works on a lot of different levels. To me, I just feel like as you're going through, it's a little bit of an adventure to play the piece of music. Nobody that you play this for would know what song it is, so you can call it whatever you want. Like I say, I made a zombie version of this where the zombies were the non-zombies were rising up against the zombies, right? It just has that sense of optimism, and we're gonna rise up and take back what's ours, sort of thing. And so I don't know, I just really love the melody, I love the tune, I love the chord progressions, and so I do think it's worth working on. Nice and slow, like I said, just playing it real slow. Vic was trying to keep up with me, but that's not really the, well, like, when we're together, obviously that's the goal, but when you're on your own and you're playing tough acts, just play at whatever speed you can play it at, obviously. Slow down for the hard parts, speed up for the easy parts. You're not supposed to do that, but that's what I do. All right, there's the International. I won't belabor how awesome I think it is. Let's go look at Jeanie with the light brown hair real quick. Won't take but a jiffy. Jeanie with the light brown hair is not a complicated song, but it is a good song, and it got reasonably good press at one point because back in the day when there was a radio strike, and they couldn't play anybody's music for a while, and so they just played Jeanie with the light brown hair over and over and over on the radio for a while, and people got where they knew this song. Jeanie with the light brown hair and guitar, and that's right. We've done this on other instruments. For you guys, we're looking at G chord, C chord, E minor, A7, D chord. These are all sort of in your wheelhouse chords. And you'll also notice as you're looking through here, I don't do a ton with strings 5 and 6 on the arrangement. So you know probably this started off as a ukulele arrangement. I just guitarized it a little bit. If you probably should think of it as big introduction, then the bulk of the song, and then a little bit of an outro. You're supposed to play it through 2 times through, and we probably will next week. But just listening to the melody, you might know it. interesting part at 11. Happy as a daisy that dance on her way. And then it goes back to the main idea. Many were the wild knows the many. I guess that's not the main idea. Page 3. Now it goes back to the idea. A nice ending here. Floating like a vapor on a soft summer air. So I think it's a beautiful song. I would say a couple things about it. One, we haven't done this on a harmonica, I don't think, and we should, because it's every bit as good as the one we do from Stephen Foster. But guys, do take note. Stephen Foster used to be the darling of all American music. Like, everybody studied him. Like, man, this guy really knew what he was doing. He really did know what he was doing. However, he's also associated very strongly with the minstrel show tradition, and so a whole lot of what he did was super racist and really unpleasant, and so we've sanitized his lyrics and kept the melodies that we're keeping. But I wouldn't necessarily say that this is a guy that you should put on your definitely want to play out in public kind of thing anymore. Yeah, I don't think most people would know that. Linda, most people won't know either of the Book 3 songs. Yeah, and I think that's okay, right? There should be some songs that we play just because they're good songs that people don't necessarily know, and then we should play a lot of Beatles, right? And so I don't ever have a problem with giving you songs that aren't particularly well known, but I also want them to be songs that make your guitar sound great and make you sound like you're progressing, right? So, all right. As for Jeanie with the light brown hair, the tough guitar part is as easy probably as about anything we're going to play at Book 3. I mean, there's really pretty straightforward everything on here. I do see there's one B minor that shows up there at measure 12. Measure 12, 11, and 12 will probably be, in terms of timing, be the hardest measures. But really, this song will drop right into your lap, and you'll be like, Stephen Foster was great. Right? I don't know why Gary keeps warning us about him. But yeah, it's a really nice piece of music. And at this point, I did this arrangement in 2017, so it's getting to be a little bit on the old side. May need to go through and clean it up just a little bit, but what you have right here will make your guitar sound nice and make you sound nice. So play that this week, and then I don't remember what comes after this one, but we have good stuff in Book 3, right, guys? All right, so there's Book 1, Book 2, and Book 3. Hopefully, and that makes sense to you. Some of you guys are working with me on classical music, so let's proceed into that. Lesson 61 from Julio Sagreras. I was playing this earlier today, and I just love it. And so every now and then you find one you're like, goodness sakes. So Sagreras seems to be my guy right at the moment. Hopefully you guys are liking playing him. Lesson 61 has the chords on here, and they actually are pretty helpful. I went ahead and put the chords on here, and I think for the most part they're pretty helpful. So let's play through it and see how we do. I think we played this way back in the beginning when I was first planning to go to school, because this was one of the audition pieces we could play. And it's interesting what I know about classical music now versus what I knew then, and this is actually a really good piece of music for exiting the intro level. Like, it's a pretty challenging tune, but not so challenging as to be ridiculous, and it sounds beautiful. So hopefully you'll enjoy this one. Let's see how we do. Nice and slow. It's supposed to be quarter note equals 132, which is blisteringly fast. We're not going to do that. Okay, maybe about 80. 1, 2, 3. mistakes along the way. Let's do it one more time. I think when you get down to that D minor section at measure 23, it gets a little dicey, and I think I panicked just a tiny bit. So let's not panic. It's just music. I gave this classical a try. Oh, good, Sandy. That's super exciting. I think. By the way, Sandy, we're going to replay everything out of the classical book 0 on the website starting as soon as we're done, because this is the end of book 0. So then I want to spend the next few weeks just replaying all that so that we can feel a sense of accomplishment. Like some of that stuff that felt really complicated at the beginning should be getting easier. And then for you, it'll be the perfect chance just to jump in and learn all of the songs the first time through. So good for you. This is the hardest one in the book, I think, is this particular song. In my mind, this one's definitely book 1 level. All right, let's give it a try. From the top, 1, 2, 3. Let me start again. I don't know. I was just desperate to play the 6th string. From the top, 1, 2, 3. blew that one measure there, but other than that, you can get a sense of how the song's supposed to go, and it's really one of those. It's just going to sound lovely, you know. So spend a little bit of time making sure that that one happens better than Gary played it just now. Overall, I think I could play that a long time. Now the next song is weird, right? And hopefully you took a look at this one. This Ninou, you know, when your song is named Ninou, that you're really dealing with a winner. But the fun part about this one, this finger gets anchored, it never moves. So you're going to be playing all around it, sort of like we do on Three Blind Mice in Book 1. You're just going to never, ever move that one finger and just be playing all around it. In Three Blind Mice, we actually move it, but the idea is that, man, you've got to have this weird G shape stuck there. In this case, it's sort of a weird C shape that's stuck here. Okay, and you're busy with your pinky and your index and your middle finger getting all the other notes. So let's see how we do. 112, it's just quiet and delicate. That's what we're supposed to do here. So be quiet and delicate. 1, 2, 3, 4. mistakes along the way, but peaceful, right? And I think the fun part of it is just planting that 3 and then just using all your other fingers. Is very clear what you're supposed to do, right? Now on this piece of music it says here are your right hand fingerings: M A M A M A M I M A M A. I'm basically ignoring those, but if you wanted to work on your right hand, go through, look at the pattern that is on there, and then try it. Makes it a lot more difficult, but it also teaches you a skill you could probably use. I think fingering tends to be a little bit personal, and the message when you get a piece of sheet music with that has all the fingering, you feel like you have to do it, and you do not have to do it, but it doesn't hurt you to spend a little bit of time learning it and seeing if it helps, right? It usually doesn't help. It might. And at least get you in that notion that, hey, the way I think I'm going to play it and the way that he wants me to play it are maybe a little different, and that's okay. Okay, so there's Ninou. I don't know what to think about that song. Whoops. Shawn. All right, now the next one, I want it to be better than it is, and it's just not that great. Okay, it's the Ukrainian Melody. We have a conflict in Ukraine right now, based on the aggressiveness of a rogue nation, and so what I wanted this to just be this really beautiful, heartwarming song. It's okay, but it's not great. Okay, and you may want to think about. I'm going to add a. I don't know what I would call it, a painful act. I'm going to add a full chord melody arrangement onto this, because the chords are hanging out here. They just aren't in the song, and it would make the arrangement so much more interesting if it had full chords in here. But it doesn't. So really, you're playing one note at a time, and then I would say, grabbing at certain points, grabbing a chord shape is going to be helpful. For example, measure 2, that's definitely an E chord. Right, that's hanging out in there. Measure 4, it's definitely an A minor chord. And so you start to recognize those patterns, and then your hand can just fall into those positions. That's the only 2 that are immediately obvious. But once you have an A minor and an E chord, yeah, it's going to be a song in A minor. So let's go how. Now they want you to play index, middle, index, middle, index, middle. I'm just going to play thumb, 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 thumb. From the top. 1, 2, 3. And it's fine, it's perfectly fine, but it would be so much better with a bit of a chord underneath it. So I'm going to add in another line on here and arrange it just a little bit more exciting. It's kind of got a sad feeling to it, but it's not. It's just not as cool as I hoped it would be. Let's see. Vic says, I like Ninou, but my guitar's out my left hand. Yeah, anytime when you've got to stretch around a planted finger, yeah, it's going to tire out your hand. Think of it this way. When your hand walks out and you're like, oh, that kind of hurt. Hopefully you're building strength in your hand, and you'll end up with something really, down the road you'll be like, that's no big deal. But when you're doing it the first time, yeah, it hurts. When we do, every single time Three Blind Mice comes up in book 1, I'm like, oh God, I hate this song because it hurts my hand. There's book 1 for you, killing me. All right, what do we got? Is lesson 48 the last one? All right, we're finishing book 0 tonight. That's very exciting. I was noticing playing lesson 48 today. It's really built around chord shapes, okay? And I'm going to repost this with the chord shapes on here. But if you think about measure 1, the whole thing's going to be played with your C chord. And then the next measure, measure 2, is G7, but you don't need to use the top 2 strings. And then a regular G chord at measure 3, back to a C chord at measure 4. There's going to be an A7 in major 5, D minor in 6, G chord in 7, and then it wraps up on C. Okay, so in classical music they don't give you the chords. They're like, no, you don't need the chords. You'll be fine. And as a fingerstyle player, I'm like, that would be really helpful to have those chords there because it would help me plant my fingers early, so that I could then just hang out through the whole measure playing. And so just be aware as you are working through classical music, there are chords, there are chords. They just didn't write them down. And sometimes they can be very helpful. In this song, they've been super helpful, but they're not there. Okay? Let's play it through. And don't be confused by the notation up there. It looks really complicated, right? Whole note, and then some 16th notes, and then a quarter note with a 16th note rest under it. Very confusing. How you're going to play this is everything is just an open note. Everything is just the notes, what it says on the tablature, and it's not like you're going to hit that 3 and then stop it. You're going to be busy doing other stuff, so it's magically going to happen that half notes happen. So a lot of times in classical music you see all this very complicated looking sheet music, and then when you take a look at the tablature you're like, oh, it's just a C chord and I just played the note, some kind of a basic arpeggio on top of it. So it looks a lot harder than it probably is. Okay, let's give it a try from the top. I'll just count 1, 2, 3, 4, and we'll use that as our base. Okay? 1, 2, 3, 4. Again, Julio Sagreras, right? It's very peaceful, very pretty. Looks crazy on the paper, but it's just a nice little arpeggio that sounds really beautiful. All right, congratulations. You've just played through Book 0. The Royal Conservatoire of Music from Alberta, Canada, or wherever it's from. I don't know where it's from. They have quizzes, right? At the end of each book, you have to go take an exam, and I guess they decide whether you can go on or not. I don't know. I hope they don't do that, but they probably do. Your job, for me, and for yourself, we're going to play, just go to the classical page, and we're going to start at book, whatever's on the top, and we're just going to play down through them all. No instruction for the next few weeks, while we just replay that book, and then as we get toward the toward the later half of the summer, then we'll start in on Book 1. And I think what we'll do, once we've played through that whole Book 0 a second time, that's just going to help us find those places where maybe we still need to put in a little bit of work. Or for me, that's what it'll be. But also so that'll kind of feel good about, hey man, I just played through this whole stinking book, and I'm ready to move on to the next level. There are only 8 levels, and level 1 has a lot of really beautiful music in it. So I think it's exciting that we're going to be moving on. Some of the early stuff I've looked at, of course, is they've got it arranged sort of by medieval and Renaissance and all this stuff, which is a goofy way to arrange things. But the nice part about RCM is we get some chance to play some modern composers, some Renaissance composers, some stuff that's meant for lute and all that stuff, and so we get a chance to have a really wide range of music, and none of it. And so there's a few of them that are pretty stupid, but mostly it's pretty good stuff. And so by the time we're done with all 8 books of this in a couple of years, maybe 5 years, we will have a really solid foundation to play everything. And so I'm very excited that we have now finished book 0. So next week, you can just go grab off the classical page all of the songs in book 0, and we'll just start at the top and we'll play all the way down through them, and then we'll move on to book 1. So that's it. I hope you guys are having a wonderful time playing guitar. Toronto, that's where it's from. Linda says, nice. Very good songs. Thanks, everyone. So we need to get the password by sending you an email because you won't be posting every week. Yes. Just send me an email. I'll send you the password. Once I send you the password, you'll never forget it. But yeah, if you need the classical, I thought you had it, Linda. But if you don't have the classical password, just send me a note, and I send it to you. And then I probably won't post anything on the front page. That doesn't seem to make sense, right? We'll just go to the classical page and play straight down that. So good question. But yeah, if you don't know the classical password, send me an email. And if you're Elizabeth and you're checking out this recording, thank you for letting me use this guitar. It's absolutely beautiful. I'm going to play with it a few more days to see if it's the right size. Have a wonderful day, you guys. I'll see you either tomorrow for harmonica or Tuesday for guitar orchestra, or ukuleles on Friday. So have a wonderful week, and I'll see you soon. Peace.